Hey, let me talk my shit, man. Are you seeing the setup right now? Are you seeing the setup? It's different. This is different gravy. I'm not gonna lie to you. This right here, this just feels unusual because I'm used to my normal chair, my normal setup, my normal room. Do you know what I'm saying? Speaking to you like at eye level. You're now a bit lower now, and you're just seeing like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like a little confessional. It's a confessional booth. Do you know what I'm saying? The style's a bit different. I'm laid back right now. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just chilling, kick my feet up. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, trust me. Listen, today I just ate. So if I'm slow, then blame that on the blood that's being diverted to my gut right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Handling that heavy load. I wolfed my food down in about 12 minutes and I timed it. I didn't time it online. I just know the time I started. I know the time I finished. You know what I'm saying? Quick maths. But anyways, let me be serious. Let me be serious. Keto day. What day is it today? It's a Wednesday. So that is keto day 22, 23, 24. Keto day 24. Okay, cool. Keto day 24. You know how I said I had energy yesterday? It was a myth. It was a facade. It was an illusion. I didn't actually have energy. It was just I had high levels of cortisol and adrenaline and all of those stress chemicals that was making it seem like I had high energy. I genuinely thought that I was on the way up, that I had reached a level which was comparable to when I was on a balanced diet and I was using glucose for energy. But it turns out I was wrong. It turns out I was wrong because today I just felt flat. Like I'm gonna it flat is better than lethargic and fatigued and exhausted. So it's a step up from what it was before. But I just felt flat compared to yesterday where I was feeling energized. But then again, I did crash later on during the day. I was energized, and then boom, I was feeling just tired, just yeah, exhausted. Just felt like it came crashing down, and I couldn't wait to eat. And after I ate, I felt a bit better. But the thing about elevated cortisol and adrenaline levels, anything that is induced, right? Anything that is induced at a high level, anything that is elevated that is not endogenous, is going to cause the receptors to become deaf to that signal, wherever it is. So say you keep doing nicotine, you keep spiking your cortisol, your adrenaline, your receptors, your receptors on the neurons will just shut their ears. They're gonna start to come tone deaf to that signal, and so you need more of it to have the same effect. And so it's really not they're really not chemicals that you can really just last on. You know what I'm saying? I was asking Gemini about this today. I was thinking theoretically, if I was to give my body all of the energy that it needed, right? Because obviously adrenaline demands for more energy uptake, providing me more energy to everywhere in my body, right? To all my cells. And so theoretically, if I was to provide enough glucose to my system such that the energy could be used effectively by my cells due to the signaling of these chemicals, then I should be able to run on these chemicals forever. But of course not. They're neurotoxic mainly. They're neurotoxic and they're not good. They're just not good. They're just not good at all. They're not good at all. And I'm only like really realizing the fact that most of the time that I've felt really energized is the fact that I've gone through some sort of stress beforehand. So either I'm sleep deprived or I've something, right? It's not actual energy. It's borrowed energy from the future. And I've realized that today, and I've realized that potentially, okay, my brain's moving a bit mad. This light right here, because it's at eye level, right? But it's not normally at eye level. So now I'm staring at the light and the light's fucking in my eyes. I'm not gonna lie. It's really this I'm about to just do this for the rest of the episode. But yeah, man, I don't really have anything more to say. I don't really have a lot of time to film anyway. Because I need to catch the bus, the train, the bus and the train. But yeah, this is hmm, Yeah, I just feel awkward in this setup. I don't feel comfortable yet. You're seeing me live in action trying to get comfortable, but I'm not really comfortable right now. It's a bit too new. It's a bit too, and I don't normally record videos as soon as I finish eating, and I normally have some time to process the day. You know what I'm saying? With a fresh mind, fresh energy. But I've just jumped straight into it. So this is just raw and real. But I wanted to. I was thinking earlier about how the story, how I might just throw this video in the bin, man. I'm gonna look back at this one and think, yo, this is terrible. And this leads me straight onto the point that I wanted to make. The story that you tell yourself is the most important. We all exist within a narrative. So the story that you tell yourself is the most important thing, right? I can think, oh, this video is terrible, this is that, this is this, and this is that. And the way the brain works, predictive processing, I'm going to look for things that reinforce my belief. I'm going to look for things that make my belief true, right? Because that's how the brain works. I have a belief, my brain looks for support and evidence. Same sort of concept with post hoc rationalization. We can make any sort of claim, we can do any sort of thing, and then rationalize it to ourselves later on, even if it wasn't rational at all. It's just something our brain is wired to do. It's wired to make things make sense. It's wired to make things seem coherent to us when it may not be. But the brain is just trying to minimize prediction error. So if I have a belief, it's going to try its hardest to make sure that that belief is actually something that I can hold without having to grapple with any other coexisting beliefs, because that would be energy demanding for the brain. And the brain always wants to minimize the amount of energy that it uses, right? And so the story that you tell yourself is very, very important, right? It's called the pygmallion effect. Another concept that's related to this. So I expect a behavior. So I look for things that reinforce that behavior. No, I expect a behavior, right? I expect something. So I subconsciously look for things that reinforce that belief, which makes me act more in a way which, okay, if I just illustrate this with an example, I expect you to play very, very well on the pitch today, right? So I look for things that reinforce this belief. Oh, okay, the great pass, this, that. I'm looking for things which I can point out and reward you with. And when I do that, it reinforces that initial belief. Oh yeah, he's going to do well. Oh look, I found things that he's going to do. I found things that he's done well in. I communicate that, and now he, as a result, does well, does better, and it's a cycle. It's a loop. So the sorts of things that we expect of people, we also influence them as well. That's what I get from this effect, in the sense that I expect something from you. I behave in a way towards you, which makes you more likely to exemplify that sort of behavior. And then my belief is reinforced, and it's a vicious cycle or a virtuous cycle. Either way, right? And so this is something that we need to be very vigilant about. Be very vigilant about what that voice is telling you inside of your head. Pay attention, because it might just be writing a narrative that leads you astray. It might be leading you towards a future where the beliefs that you hold are not really grounded in anything. Then they're not helping you in any way. They're breaking you down rather than building you up. So pay very close attention, because remember, things that are repeated are embedded. And so if you repeat something to yourself enough times, it becomes your reality. And it's a very powerful thing and a very frightening thing at the same time, because it can break you down and build you up. It has the destructive power and the constructive power to do either which way. And you have the power, you have the agency to direct it. But you need to know what you have to direct it to. Right? And that requires introspection, that requires planning, thinking, thoughts, just consideration in general, in the direction where you want to take your life. Where do you want to take your life? What's your goals? What do you want out of this life? What would you regret if you died tomorrow? You need to think about these sorts of questions, because only then can you create the life that you really, I was going to say you really desire, but I would more say the life that is right for you. Because at the end of the day gotta end. At the end of the day gotta end. At the end of the day, we're all gonna die, and nobody's gonna remember what you did in a few decades, in a few hundred years, in a few thousand years. Nobody's gonna remember what Einstein did when the heat death of the universe occurred. Nobody's gonna remember anything that you do today, tomorrow, next week, in the long term. So take that power. No, take that information and have it and use it as power. Okay, no, that's just terrible phrasing. That's terrible phrasing. Take, I'm gonna try again. Take that as you will, but it's very powerful if used correctly, because it eradicates the fear of failure. It eradicates the fear of standing out. It eradicates the fear of doing something different. It eradicates the fear of embarrassment, because it all doesn't matter at the end of the day. This is a very nihilistic perspective, I admit. But realistically, it makes sense to me. It might not be correct. It might be something after this, but that's for you to find out. That's for you to do your own little background checks and research and study and see if that's a path that you want to go down. I'm hearing footsteps. Yeah, cool. More ramble. More ramble. Something new. Something new. Something to think about. Um, and yeah, different sort of style, different sort of format. Not really, but it feels different to me. So I'm just getting used to it. Just getting comfortable with this whole new, you know what I'm saying? But I hope you took something away from that. I need to go catch the bus, catch a tram.